It's Nicola Foster, relationship, intimacy and sex therapist here. I'm making this video about our inner critic. We've all got one. You may well be very familiar with that term if you've had counselling or you've done personal development work. It's kind of a term that's thrown around a lot, but it's that everyone will be familiar with how it works because we've all got one. You know, it's that nagging voice in your head that says, you'll never make anything of yourself. It's pointless trying, you know. These videos are a lot to do with dating. I do a lot of dating coaching, and it's very easy to hear that voice saying, it's too late for you, you're too old, you're too fat, you're too boring, you're too ugly, too something. And if we listen to this voice, if we let this voice have free rein, we'd never leave the house, would we? So it's just really vital to kind of take that critical voice on. Now, I notice in myself the language to say, take it on, fight it, tell it where to go, tell it to bugger off. But one of the things I've learned through my own personal work is telling it to go away, to shove off, is, as tempting as it is, doesn't really work because it tends to just come back harder, stronger. And so the alternative is to welcome it and to ask it to come closer and treat it with compassion and kindness. I absolutely love compassion-focused therapy. Kristen Neff, books are awesome on this subject. And there's a quote here. I found a quote by Pema Chodron. I find her writing around these subjects is just so helpful. And she says, the most fundamental aggression to ourselves, the most fundamental harm that we can do to ourselves is to remain ignorant by not having the courage and the respect to look at ourselves honestly and gently. And it's that gentle word I really like. She suggests inviting your inner critic to come to tea. So I've done a worksheet, a free worksheet that you can download, where you can ask your critical voice what it's saying, and then ask your compassionate voice. We all have also access to that compassionate part of ourselves that's able to be kind. The voice that you sometimes, in the therapy room, a way into this can be to imagine that your best friend is there and ask them what they would say. Most of us would never speak to a friend in the harsh ways that we speak to ourselves. And so finding that access to that place in yourself which is friendly and kind, and checking in. If you hear that critical voice, I'm too old, then when we dig a bit deeper, then probably is a voice that also says, yeah, and I'm the youngest I'm ever going to be today. And the people I'm going to be dating, also I want to date people around the same age as me, so I'm not, we're equal. With my age comes maturity, with my age comes a depth of character, and a personality that's developed, more empathy, hopefully, more kindness. So, the compassionate voice probably got lots of really helpful things to add. So I hope you found this video useful. I've written a blog as well. Thank you for listening. I'm Nicola. I do coaching for dating, for self-confidence, for relationships, for couples who are having any kind of challenges and want to resolve those. I specialise in intimacy